for another episode of Just the Tip Tuesday. Hello, Nisha.
Hi, Christine.
So, we're going to talk about something that's kind of going on currently that's been huge in the news the past week, and it's this whole sex scandal surrounding Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, I think that, there's a lot of questions that people have that, how could this have happened to women? How could women let it happen so long? And that's a lot of the rhetoric you're hearing about is, how did this man get away with this for so long? And he's talking about the sex addiction process and trying to get therapy and how he wants to try to do better, and it's all spit on it.
Yeah. Sexual assault in the workplace, or sexual harassment, not just necessarily assault, is pretty common in the workplace.
It is. It's sadly very common. Have you seen the things going around Facebook right now with
Me Too? Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. The sheer number of women who are affected by this in one way or another that are sexualized without their consent. For him, it wasn't about sex. It was about power.
It's about power.
And it's not a sex addiction, if you read a lot of, the articles that are out now in Psychology Today, and a lot of the leading therapists in the country and the foremost thinking therapists are denouncing this sex addiction as an actual diagnosis. There's no diagnosis for sex addiction it's called the DSM-5, which is the diagnostic. It's the Bible for diagnoses for psychological disorders. So it's a diagnosis and statistical manual. There's no diagnosis for it.
What'd you say, the DSM-5?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? How come they say there's no actual thing, like there's no such thing as sexual addiction, but then there are actually 12-step programs for people to deal with sex addiction?
Right. Those are just based in money. They make money off that.
Yeah.
So if you can make money, you also shouldn't douche, right? But those are all over the shelves. Those people make money off of
that.
That
is true.
Right?
Yeah. So, a random just the tip.
Completely random just the tip. We'll do a tip on douching
Don't
later.
douche.
I mean, so people make money off of saying that people are sex addicts. It's very shame-based. The therapy, if you think about, let's go back. If you think about addiction, and that there's actually a center in your brain that affects. If you take away whatever you're addicted to, say it's alcohol or heroin or something, you actually go through a withdrawal process. You may have seizures. You have physical withdrawal.
Yeah.
If you take away sex, you're going to be crabby and fussy, but you're not going to be withdrawal. You're not going to have seizures. There's no actual addiction to sex. Out of control or compulsive sexual behavior. And that stems from, maybe different things happened in childhood. Maybe it wasn't sexual abuse. Maybe their parents just didn't teach them how the hell to be nice to people.
Yeah.
And I actually think consent and respect are pretty synonymous.
Yes.
You teach a kid no means no. But more importantly, you teach a kid yes means yes. Because how many times have you been around parents that have been with their kids, and I've been guilty too with my children, you say, can I have that cookie? No. Can I have the cookie? No. Can I have the cookie? No. Can I have the yes, have the cookie.
Yeah.
Just eat the cookie.
Just stop asking.
Right. So, no doesn't always mean no to kids. We teach them that from a young age because they persist and we get exhausted and we say, fine, go ahead. And I'm not saying we have to be jerks to our kids, but if you really don't want your child to do something, then you say no to that and you have to stick with it.
Yeah.
Because that's part of teaching, that's part of this whole rape culture, that's part of teaching our kids consent and respect for the guidelines that they're being given. Yes means yes, and anybody has the right to change their mind. And that's just respect. That just boils down to respect. That is not an addiction.
Yeah.
My kids are not addicted to cookies. I might be addicted to
cookies. I was going to say,
because
I love my chocolate chip cookies, M&M cookies, so.
Yeah.
I think I have a slight addiction to cookies.
Seizure if someone takes away my chocolate chip.
Exactly. What's the tip for when it comes to today's topic and consent?
I think the tip would be, just like when we talked about sex ed with young children, talk early, talk often. So make sure that we're talking to our kids about consent, about respect. I don't know, honestly, based on human nature, that there's any way to ever prevent this entirely. But there are ways that we can help prepare people for the right situation and how to handle themselves in a way that they can recover from, maybe a little bit less traumatically.
Talk early, talk often.
Yeah, about all of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So important to talk to your kids because I mean, the younger the better.
Right, because
Educate
that's
them
where it
early
starts.
on. Yep.
You can't tell them when they're 40 to start learning how to
I
respect
know,
people.
you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Well, sometimes, maybe, not really.
not
Listen,
when the dog's name is Harvey Weinstein.
40 is not old.
That's not what I meant.
Beat you with a vulva pillow.